as consumers thinks we are really loyal, but in reality we're not. You study, sleep, socialize. So you can have only two at once. So if you are studying and sleeping, you get no time for socialization. If you are studying and socializing, probably no time for sleep. And the third case, so on and so forth. Companies would understand or follow innovations that are, say, happening outside of India. What's happening next in the Korean beauty segment, right? What's happening in other markets?
Okay, moving on. Ashi, as someone working at an intersection of FMCG and e-commerce, how do you see the digital transformation kind of changing the roles eventually in the future?
Okay, again, that's a very interesting question. And I think what has really accelerated digital transformation is COVID. And I think India really is at the cusp of it, because you see consumer habits really, really evolving very fast, right? How people used to consume TV in the past, now TV has become a thing of the past, right? People are consuming content over OTT. A lot of things have changed. While I might go to a medical shop and order whatever that I had to, I have a lot of this e-pharmacy apps or different ecosystem that's enabled for me to shop from. So right, when you look at it from a lens of marketing, right from the touch point of awareness of how you get to know a brand, to consideration to actually the point of purchase, every single bit of it has evolved, right? Now, when I specifically look at how it is really changing the FMCG / the e-commerce space, and what is it that companies are really, really doing to stay updated to such trends, I think what is definitely helping is that while, again, your brands and you need to innovate with how the consumer needs are shaping, or otherwise you become obsolete, right? We know examples of a lot of great brands that did not really evolve with the consumer needs and have now become obsolete. So it's very, very important for you to definitely be doing that. How brands are really evolving / shaping it is right from when you look at media planning. When media planning would be typically done for TV, now it's being done for OTT or YouTube or digital. Even in that, people are now looking at the intersection of data. You can now target consumers basis the Amazon purchase history that they have, right? So I know that that is a very strong signal versus me bombarding you with a message on TV. So I can tailor and customize the communication that I want to tell you as a consumer, right? That's one. The different points of purchase for a brand, right? Like earlier, it was very important that you are listed in a lot of these traditional kirana, pharmacy, etc. shops. Now you also, having had a D2C shop, really helps you understand your consumers very deeply, because you can tailor their journey across different segments. You have access to their first party data. You know during what point of the purchase cycle did the consumer drop off. You know what is the exact problem statement. You know on how much time did consumers spend on a product page. All of the insights that you get from such really, really, really helps you sharpen your proposition further on. And second, really helps you build a community of people around, right? So in such ways, I think digital transformation has definitely led to a change. What is, of course, also coming as a challenge is that earlier, because fewer players had access to reach out to consumers, right? And therefore, certain brands were well entrenched. Right now, it has genuinely become a level playing field where you see a lot of the D2C brands coming and overriding you, right? Like they have a strategy where even if they don't have media money or big budgets to spend on TV or out-of-home advertising, they're bombarding you on social, they're following you across the consumer journey. They have their ecosystem of dispatching products to you. So that has become quite challenging as well. So it really then matters in such a time on how you are delivering, what is it that you are doing the best, so you stay ahead of the game.
That's very powerful. I have one last question, and it's regarding the D2C thing that you just mentioned.
Yes.
With increasing competition in the D2C space, what differentiates a good brand from the rest?
I think I would look at D2C in two ways. One is a D2C brand. Second is a D2C channel for a already existing product. Okay, so let's say the difference. When I worked in the D2C space, I was working for Durex. Now, Durex is not a D2C brand. It is a brand that has been there since many, many years. But when I was working in D2C, I was working for that channel to sell the product. So the product is also available at other touch points. In case you're working or looking at D2C as a channel, certain things that come into play really is the importance of educating. So at that point in time, your content is very informational in nature that aids the consumer to purchase. A lot of times people go via purchasing a product on a direct to consumer website is also because of authenticity of the product. You know that the right product is going to get delivered to you. Again, in a D2C environment, when you're looking at it as a channel for purchase, the other thing that really matters is personalization, right? You having an option to personalize, customize your products. And there are a lot of these high-end brands that are typically sold on the D2C channel. So let's say a Dettol no-touch hand wash may not be readily available in your nearest pharmacy store, but it can be available on that direct-to-consumer website. So the leverage really for D2C as a channel is so much more about you, if I speak it in technical terms, increasing the consumer lifetime value. Now what that really means is, we as consumers think we are really loyal, but in reality we're not. We keep switching brands because of availability, because of an offer, because of several different reasons. Once you have a D2C website, you're able to send reminders to consumers. You have created a space for brand love in the minds of consumers. So the chances of you being loyal to that particular brand significantly goes higher, right? So that's the importance of D2C as a channel. Now, if I talk about D2C brands of course have their own brand.com website, but they're also trying to now go to different brick and mortar shops for availability because they want to expand their reach. I think one thing that these companies do really well is that they are able to look at innovations by anticipating consumer needs, right? So if I, without naming any brand, if I really talk about a segment within personal care, right? Let's say shampoos for that matter. Companies would understand or follow innovations that are, say, happening outside of India. What's happening next in the Korean beauty segment, right? What's happening in other markets? What kind of trends that are happening now that you anticipate will grow in the future, right? So a lot of these brands are able to understand and anticipate consumer trends, / you have access to a lot of data. There are a lot of different data sources that are available, and the third and the most reliable data source is your consumers. So once you want to launch something and you've spoken to enough number of consumers, you can try to innovate for it. For such brands, typically the life cycle of innovation is very small. So they are able to do rapid prototyping and bring the product to market and see how this really succeeds or fails or how it happens. And they're able to reiterate the plans every day, right? Because you keep learning and you keep reiterating your plans. And then once you understand, let's say a D2C brand might launch 20 SKUs of shampoo. They will understand and learn which is the one that is getting the best consumer response. Then they will really try to expand the reach of those particular products and kill other products. It's also important for you to understand what's not working for you and stop it, and not just genuinely have an attempt that I want to fix this. So it's important for you to learn and then reiterate, develop prototypes of your plan, and then keep moving forward. So that's what I think a lot of these D2C companies do really well. And over the course of years, now because a lot of these well-established brands or companies have also recognized what D2C brings as a differentiation. So tomorrow, if you're already using a particular shampoo and you're well entrenched to it, the only reason you might want to try a D2C brand is because of the differentiation that they bring, right? What is it different that they're getting for you? So for example, say Mamaearth, right? When that company started, they were already entrenched players, but Mamaearth started really by saying that it's been developed by a mom and it's 100% toxin free. And that really caught on. Then a lot of consumers did not even want to settle for anything less. So in a D2C brand, right, tomorrow if you go on and become a founder and you want to launch something, the age-old principle of differentiation really holds true. So you develop your product needs to be a winning product. That really is the basis for everything. And once you do that, and once you understand the model, then expanding it is really not so much of a challenge. A lot of times, bigger companies even buy out D2C players and help them in their reach. So there is also a lot of synergies that come into play.
My name is Ram. So I have a question that you have been graduated from MICA, and which is one of the dream colleges for many people, and of course for me also. So you have been a silver medalist plus a gold medalist in branding and advertisement. So it would be great if you can share your strategies, how you achieve this excellence in your studies during your tenure.
I think when you are in B school, if I talk very casually to you, people say that you can do 2 of the 3 S's. You study, sleep, socialize. So you can have only 2 at once. So if you are studying and sleeping, you get no time for socialization. If you are studying and socializing, probably no time for sleep. And the third case, so on and so forth. Honestly, in my case, I was lucky, or I was designed to be in a way that I was able to do all the 3 things. In my 2 years of journey at MICA, I just pulled off 1 all-nighter in total, and that was because I was watching a movie. I didn't have to pull any all-nighter at all, whether it was exams or whether it was placements. That's something a lot of people will not even be able to relate to. What really worked, again, in my case, is that when I started out, I had my priorities very clear, that this is what I wanted to go after. To me, learning was very important part of it, right? There are obviously a set of students who are studying just one day before examination. What really helped me is when I was sitting in classes and studying, I was not there just for the sake of attendance. I was an active participant in classes. When you are actively participating in a lecture, asking a lot of questions, etc., a lot of learning is happening for you then, right? You're not waiting at a later stage. Second, read your pre-reads. When you go to a lot of these MBA classes, you would already be given a pre-read. If you have not read your pre-read on time, you won't be able to make sense, and you will keep accumulating a lot of backlog to fill for, right? Third thing that really helped me is whatever I was learning, I was taking notes. It's not an old art, trust me. I was making a lot of notes that really helped me. Whenever I had to go back and revise my concepts, I was able to do it. So be an active participant in the lectures, not just for the sake of having class participation, but with an important thing that you want to learn. Ensure that whatever pre-work is required, you do it on time so you're able to follow things and there's not a lot of backlog that's accumulating. And third thing, simple but it works, is that you take notes whenever you're in a lecture so that you can always go back and revise later. So whenever the exams came, I was not one of those students who was scrambling for, oh, where are the notes? Can you give me a photocopy of someone's notes? Or I'm not even sure what the syllabus of the exam is, etc. I was able to prepare well, have my good 8 hours of sleep, and go for the examination with a peaceful mind. So that is really going to help you.
Yeah, hi Ashi ma'am. Actually, I wanted to ask, my graduation was not in a marketing background, but now I want to shift for marketing and also particularly for digital marketing. So what is more advisable, to go for a practical experience or to go for a B school and MBA and everything?
You can actually enter marketing via both the routes, to be very honest to you. And having that backlog that you don't have a marketing experience in your bachelor really doesn't matter. Every year in every MBA school that you go to, you will see 50% or more of the strength is engineers, right? If engineers can do it, then why can't you? So trust me, do not carry that notion that if you haven't had a background in that, would you still be able to make it? You definitely will be able to make it. Your courses are again very aptitude based. You're in a management curriculum. It's not like something that you should have known for years. It's something that you can inculcate and cultivate. To your question of whether you should contemplate on joining B school or go for more practical experience is an answer that only you can take for yourself. It depends on a lot of factors. Which B school are you getting an admit to? Is that a B school that aligns with your long-term goal or strategies that you would want to see your career spanning out? If yes, I would say that have had a B school experience or an MBA tag not only gives you a leverage when you're starting your career or a kickstart to it, but of course is a big tectonic shift in how you really think. Like I said, it really helps you develop your personality. But if this year, for whatever reasons, you think that you have more potential and you want to take another crack at it, and in the meantime, gain more practical experience, go for it. There's no harm in doing that also, right? So it's genuinely a call that only you can take for yourself. Whichever of the two routes that you go ahead with, just be very clear what is the end goal in your mind. What is it that you're really, really trying to go after? I think another thing that really stems from there is people who join an MBA school as fresher or people who have experience who are more designed for success in a way. Again, when you're in an MBA curriculum, I have personally not seen companies only shortlisting experienced hires or only shortlisting freshers. So again, at that point in time, you having good grades, having good talking points in your resume, even if you are a fresher, would really set you up for success. So there is no set formula that if you have experience, you will have a better chance at B school. Of course, when you come with experience, you are able to learn better from the lectures, but either of the two routes that you take, you can make things happen.
Really powerful insights. Ashi, thank you so much for your time. I honestly gained a lot of insights, and I'm sure they did too. They cleared 3 of my questions, so that shows that they were really in the conversation and interested about the things that we were talking about. Guys, please give it up a huge round of applause for Ashi.